Barry, I turned on the recording on my end because you weren't recording.
Oh, okay. I'll repeat what I said then. Good morning and welcome, everyone. This is Barry Cowan, the president of the Deerfield Beach Computer Club since 2005. Today is Friday, July 9th, 2021. I hope you had a safe and healthy and pleasant July 4th holiday. Just a few things before we continue. All of you are now being muted. If you have anything that you would like to comment on, you can either use the raise hand option on your screen, or you can use the chat window. And to use the chat window, you should sign in with the same name that you used to sign in to this meeting. That way you can receive any of the chat information or handouts that are presented following. I've mentioned several times that there is a good possibility that we will be resuming live classes in November at the original location in the Club Activity Center, Room B in Century Village East. We will be monitoring this situation throughout the summer and early fall, and we'll let you know what the status is. As soon as we know something, you will know something. It's as simple as that. Okay, let's begin. This meeting is being recorded. You may turn off your video at this time if you do not want to be viewed. The meeting will be recorded and available on the club's YouTube site, possibly tonight or tomorrow. Please comment on it if you wish to do so right below the video. And now it gives me pleasure to talk about today's guest speaker, our club vice president, Carol Freedman. Before moving to Century Village East, Carol spent the last 25 years or so designing training programs and improving performance for corporations and government agencies, including the State Department, IBM, Xerox, Marriott, and many others. She has been our computer club vice president for the last 3 years and has presented numerous well-received training programs for us. And as I've mentioned at every single Zoom meeting, she has been of invaluable assistance to me as my active right hand and conscience in some cases, which I fully appreciate. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce today's guest speaker, Carol Freedman. Let's give her virtual applause. And Carol, you may begin when you're ready.
Okay, great. Thank you, Barry. So, as you know, today we're going to be talking about Gmail. And so that we can have some idea of who's here, I've got a little poll for you, quick little one. So I'm going to start it. Barry, I can't start it. Would you start it?
Okay. We will now start the poll.
I'm not seeing anything yet.
I see it on my side.
Oh.
There we go.
If you're able to see it from your computer, would you just raise your hand so we can see? Okay, so it looks like everybody but me can see it. So carry on, Barry.
We have 19 of 27 so far. We'll let it go a little longer.
That's really unfortunate.
Yeah. I'll see if I can write down the results here.
So the first question's asking you which email service you use. And we found out just a few minutes ago that somebody's actually using Thunderbird, which would be one of the other. Second one. So Barry, are they going one at a time?
Yes.
Okay. So if the results are finished, why don't you go ahead and show them, and then we'll move on to the second one.
Okay, let's see if I can show it to them. If I have an option.
Yeah, you should at the bottom have something that says show results.
It says end polling on the bottom.
Do you have a way of going to the second question?
Yes. Oh, no.
Ugh.
Yeah, you don't. I will just tell you right now that the polling shows as of 25 of 28, which is 89% voting, 60% have said Gmail, that they have Gmail,
Right.
8% Outlook, 36% AOL,
Interesting.
24% Comcast, and 24% for others.
Okay.
Have you got that?
Yep.
Okay, we'll go close this and we'll go to the next question. Okay, I'm going to share it right now. Hold on. Can everyone see the poll results? There you go.
So the next question, when you get to see it, is going to ask you to rate your level of comfort and use with Gmail. So just pick the one that best reflects you, whether you're a basic user, comfortable, but you don't know a lot of special things, fairly adept, and then you're a whiz, but you always love new things.
This is just a one pick. This
Right.
is not a multiple. Okay, so it's up and running.
Quickly pick your choice.
Okay, we've got 28 people into the participations now. We're still waiting. We've got 18 of 28 in. 19. Let's give it another half a minute. All right. I think I'll move these on to the next one, Carol, okay?
Yeah, tell them what the results are. Yeah.
I'm going to do that right now. We're going to, there's the results. 42% basic user, 42% a comfortable user, 11% fairly adept rather, and always love new tricks. Wow me is 5%.
All righty. Well, that gives us some room to play. And then the last question is about how many email accounts, Gmail accounts you have.
Okay, and this is also a one pick, not multiple choice. Here we go. Looks like I did this okay. Wow.
Great. Okay.
All right. We're ready to share?
Yep.
All right. Let me get Dennis back in and in polling. Share results. As you can see, 15% don't even have one. So this presentation will make you a convert, hopefully. And one person, 74% have one account, 11% have 2 to 5, and no one has more than 5.
Except me and you, probably.
Right. I don't.
Okay, great. Thanks, Barry. I'll take it
Okay.
from here.
Okay, I'm going to close the poll. Okay, it's all yours, Carol.
All righty. So, first of all, I'm bringing up a screen that shows you what we look like nationally in terms of users. And as you can see, the balance of Gmail users is rising way to the top. and growing, and it's particularly growing among younger users, so that will get larger and larger. And Outlook is clearly second, particularly among older users, and that's what I'm finding with a variety of my clients. It's interesting because we probably have a lot more AOL users here than is the case nationally. And hopefully we'll have people interested in making the conversion today. So there we go. Alrighty. So now I want to actually switch to something else. We're going to start at the beginning. And from the initial getting into Gmail and then moving through it and showing you various features as you bring up your Gmail, answer your Gmail, respond to your Gmail, save your Gmail, and do various other things. So hopefully there'll be a bunch of cool tricks here for you. And so I'm starting on the Google homepage, on the search page, because this is where new users or people who haven't learned to use shortcuts will likely start. And so I'm not going to actually go through the searching for Gmail, but you can search for Gmail login, which if you have an account will then let you enter all your information and log in. But that gets very tedious. So what I want to show you is that you'll notice under the search bar here, there are a whole set of icons. These are shortcuts and they change as you open different things. So these are the most recent opened shortcuts, and you can see Gmail is my first one. So if I clicked on that, since I've used Gmail on this computer already, it would simply open my account. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to go up to one, well, before I go up to one of my tabs, I want to show you a second thing. So this is the bookmarks bar, and hopefully you can see it with that yellow cursor, halo. And you'll notice that my second cursor is for, or my second saved bookmark is for Gmail. So that's where I typically go. That's there all the time. It will open my Gmail right away. Now, because I have multiple Gmail accounts, I've actually opened 2 of them as tabs. And I'm going to use, first of all, the one I don't use very often. And you can see by mousing over it, you can see the name of the Gmail account. I'm going to use that one because it has less in it and it's easier to demonstrate some things. And then I'm going to show you my actual normally used Gmail account because I want you to see some of the other features. So this is my Gmail account. And so I want to point out the various features of it. And let me get this out of my way. Okay. All right. So first of all, you can see you're in Gmail. This hamburger here will open more broadly the left window, which we'll talk more about afterwards, that left column. And then if you click it again, it'll go off, or if you click anywhere else, and you can see it, as you mouse over it, it'll open and close. And then you've got this set of things that you can do from the initial reading pane, this pane that shows all of your emails that are open. And we'll talk more about what you can do with each of those and with more things in a bit. Over here, you can see the number of Gmails that show in an initial screen. So right now, this one is set for 1 to 50. You can actually show 100 Gmails at a time. And you'll see that when I go to the other Gmail. And I may show you as we're going through the settings how you can change that, but you can set it for up to 100. And then get that out of the way. And then you can see, right now I've got this enlarged so that you can hopefully read things and see things more easily. But you'll notice that, sorry, hold on one second. So you can see that in this center area, you've got the various emails that, that display. And in a minute, I'll show you how you see more or less of this. But you also will notice in this furthest column of the reading pane, you'll see the times or dates when these emails came in. And then finally, in this far right-hand column, you've got some of the other Google applications that you can access right from email. So you've got the calendar, you've got Keep, you've got Google Docs, and you've got, or no, that's Tasks, and you've got Contacts. And so let's see. And so I want to point out one more thing. In this bar right here, you'll notice that mine displays primary, social, promotions, and forum. This is what Google gives you as a way of separating out your emails so that they don't end up in one huge clump in your, your major emails. So with this email account, I don't have a whole lot of things in these other categories, but I'll quickly show you. Whoops. Let's turn that off, sorry. Okay, 1 second here. It's not letting me pull this very easily. Sorry, hold on 1 second. Well, as it is. And now we have the benefits of live demonstrations. I wanted to get to that other email, sorry. Okay, let me just think a second of how to do this. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. Okay, let's see if I can do it now. No. Well, it's not letting me get to my other email account. Okay, so we're not going to do that right now. I will do it in a bit. Okay, so I'm going to now show you some things about reading your emails. And so if you click on settings, right here, the gear icon, it opens up a pane on the right-hand side. And it's going to give us a number of options for how to be able to read and display emails initially. So I want to point out some of those differences. Right now, I've got it set on the default, which over here gives us a fairly tightly packed set of messages, but it also lets you see the attachments, and which is useful if you want to search for something in your most recent emails that has an attachment or something else with it. So if I change it now to comfortable, you can see it takes away that second line. It shows you less text, and it shows you attachments as clips in the space between the message and the date. And if you go to compact, it's going to squeeze it even more. So, just depends on how you like to read your emails. I like to see a little more text. I like to see the attachments. So that's how I typically leave mine. Okay, so now I want to show you, I'm scrolling into the inbox type, and I'm not going to talk about most of these right now. Actually, I'm going to skip over that. I'm going to talk about the reading pane. And right now, this is set so that you've got no split. But if you are coming from Outlook, then you typically are used to seeing something that looks more like this. And so if we open an email, this is what you're going to see. Let's close that for a second. You're going to see your email down the left-hand side and the one email you've selected over here. The nice thing about that is once you've opened an email, you don't have to keep going back and forth to the email list itself, the pane with all your emails to open the next one. It's just displayed right there. So there's the next one. So you can see it's easy to do. And, all of your attachments will show up there. Okay, so back to this. And, okay, 1 second. So I want to show you one other thing right now. Let me see if I can, that's better, okay. So I want to come back to, sorry for jumping all around here, 1 second here. Let's go back to no split. And actually I'm gonna stop for a second because I'll do this periodically through here since questions, come and go, and there'll be a lot of information. So I want to see, does anybody have any questions so far? Okie doke. So, so one of the things, and now I can show you on my other email here. So I've switched to my other email account, and this is my primary email account. You can see that bar that I was talking to you about that's above at the top of the reading pane, primary, social, promotions, and forums. You can see that there's a whole lot more emails in there. So I've got 51 new ones here, in addition to the ones that are in there that I may have read before. So if I open that, you can see that it's showing 68 total. So if I go back to primary now, with those emails would all be interspersed in my main reading box, and I would have just a ton of emails if these were all included in there. And, most people I've seen don't want to be bothered with that, but they don't know how to get rid of it. So I'm going to show you how to unselect those if you want and have them go into the main part of your emails, or how the good thing about this is that you can easily capture all those emails. So, like with promotions, here you've got a ton of promotions, And there may be something in here that's something that you actually wanted that went to promotions by mistake. But the good thing about it is you can select all with this little box up here. It will select all but the ones that are sponsored, which are at the top that you can't select. But it's selected the 100 that will display on this one screen. And if I wanted to, I could simply come up here to the trash can and delete them. But even more importantly, I can get rid of all of them. This is something I never noticed before I was doing this. So you can see it says all 100 conversations on this page are selected, and right next to it in blue, it says select all 265 conversations and promotions. So if I wanted to completely clear that whole file out, I could select that and it would send all of those to the trash can once I selected the trash can, or it would move them anywhere else I wanted to. So I could move them to another file or label. I could label them. I could do all kinds of things with them. So that's an easy way to be able to clean these unwanted conversations out and never have them end up in your inbox. So I'm going to uncheck that now. But some people say, well, you know, I've got an email in here that I didn't want in the promo. I actually wanted it in my regular primary emails. How do I do that? So you can either open it or you can click on it. Let's say I wanted this Groupon one. If I grab it, I can drag it up to primary and it will move that into my inbox. So now if I go back to primary, there's that Groupon email. It's gone there now. So let's see what I want to show you next. So now let me go back to the other email. So I'm reading, I've gone back to this other account, and here I've got all my emails, and I see this one with my presentation source here, but I don't really feel like reading it right now. Well, what can I do with that? If I click on it, I can either open it or click on it. And then if I come up here to this band of options, one of them has this clock here, and it says snooze. You can't really see it because it's blocked by my thing, but it says snooze. So if I click on that, it's going to let me snooze that. So I don't have to read it now, but it doesn't go away forever. And I can pick any of these times from later today to next week to any time I choose and snooze it, and it will come back again at that time for me to read later, which is pretty cool. Okay, so now the next thing, here I am, and let's get rid of, whoops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Let's get rid of that. And so you notice I've got one thing that's starred here. So how can you mark emails so they stand out? So I'm going to show you several ways to be able to do that. The one that you may know most is labeling. And so I'm going to show you how to label it, how to star it, how to mark it as important, and what each of those things do for you. So again, I can do this. Let's do label. I can do it in a variety of ways. I can select it without ever opening it. I can go up here to this like fat arrow looking thing, sideward file, that's label. And if I click on that, it's going to show the labels that I have already set up in this account. And you can scroll down. This is actually not many. I'll show you in the other account in a bit, you know, what you can do when you really want lots and lots of them. And you can create a new one. So let's call this one test. And if I wanted it as part of something I already have, a label I already have, I can put it under Airbnb. So now I've created that. And now you can see it's put here in gray. Let me get out of that. Oops, let's get out of that email. You can see it's put a label right here that says Airbnb/test. So we know it's a subfolder there. Now, the thing is, that doesn't show up very much. You know, it's nice that it's there, but it's gray. So how do I make it a color? So here's how you make it a color. You come over here to your left column and you come down to Airbnb, and you see there's 3 dots off to the side of it. So if you click on the 3 dots, it opens up another window that says label color, and I'm going to label it that color. And you can then pick whether it's going to be for only the main heading or both of them. So I picked that, and now voila, it's turned lavender. So that's going to stand out a whole lot better. And again, if we had been in here, we could have done it the same way from the message itself. Go away. And so now one of the other things to notice that people ask about is they go, well, you know, why do my emails that are being sent to folders or labels still show up in my inbox? You know, it's like I thought I was sending them somewhere else, but they're still here. That's because when you open your email, you'll see the first label that's there is inbox. So that's saying put it in the inbox and also put it in the second label. So if you want to get rid of it being in the inbox, you come here and you click on inbox, you click on the X next to it. Now that's not going to be in my inbox anymore. So it's called forward my presentation source. Let's go back. And you'll notice it's not there anymore. But it is there. Okay. Any questions so far? Marcia, do you have a question? You need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I missed something at the very beginning, I guess, of how you designate the emails into those main categories of primary, social, promotion, forum.
So you don't, Google does. Google looks at your emails and guesses what those should be. So social is from Facebook and other social media. Promotion is stuff that comes from companies and things. And forums is from meetup groups and things like that. So that's why it's useful to check to see what's in those folders, because Google may have put something in promotions that really wasn't a promotion that you really cared about. So before you delete them all, you know, it's a good idea to go through and check them. And so you can check them all and then uncheck the ones that you don't want there.
Carol? I'm looking at my inbox on a different computer. Right. And I'm not seeing those categories at all. I'm just seeing the emails come in.
Okay, well then let me show you how that works. Barry, did you have a question?
I have, Ken has a question.
Oh, okay, go Ken.
I find, let's say I have 400 emails in my inbox.
Yes.
It's a time-consuming process. I feel it necessary to go through each one because some of them might be important, some of them may not be. And I'll get down in one sitting of about an hour and a half. get down to 200, and only to find that within 1 or 2 days later, it's back up to 450.
Right.
Do you have any suggestions about how to not have that, about how to make it less of a project?
Yes, but it partly depends on whether you can recognize anything about the email itself before you have to open it. So and then I'm going to come back to Marcia's question.
Excuse me, Ken, would you please adjust your camera?
How about now?
Thank you.
Okay.
So Ken,
yes, Carol.
Can you tell either by the sender or the topic when you get the
there are some, like right now I get from I have no intention of taking a cruise in the within the next year, let's say. So Royal Caribbean will send me something, I automatically delete it. Costco, I just buy certain things from Costco. I get an email from them, I automatically delete it.
Okay, so
But then there are certain things that I say, I look at that I have to look closely at, because it may be some a Century Village East email about a closure that's coming up on like with this area on July next Monday. The clubhouse isn't opening until 11 a.m. So I know I can't go in there for anything. That I'll have to look at and keep.
Okay.
Yeah, because to remind me.
Okay. So would it be helpful if you could star those or label them so that they stand out?
When on my now and to star. I'll have to go back, take one step back and tell you that I've also just upgraded my iPhone from a 6 to an SE, and I basically a lot of the things are the same, but I'm not sure when to star an email. I don't think I've ever done that.
Right. So I'm going to show you how to do that shortly.
Okay.
And some other things for ways of designating or designating certain emails, either so that they stand out and you can see them and respond to them, or so they go somewhere else. So we'll be doing that shortly. But let me go back to Marcia's question.
All right.
Whoops, wrong. Okay, sorry. Okay, so I'm going into the settings. So now I'm going to go into see all settings up here. And we're going to go into inbox. So you can see there's this ribbon of titles across here. Here's inbox. And the first thing you see, and let me make it larger.
Carol, click that updates as well.
All right. So you can't see it because it's fairly light gray, but primary is automatically checked. And so I've checked these, I think, or Google has checked it. I don't remember which. But if you don't want those, so let's go back for a second. Sorry, have to save that. Sorry. All right, so first of all, I'm going to save them. Then we're going to go back. And now here's updates that's been added. So now we're going to go back into the settings. We're going to go back to inbox. And now we're going to uncheck these. Let's just uncheck those two. And we'll save it again down at the bottom. And now we're going to go back. Whoops. Sorry. And now all that's left are these two. But the ones that were previously, you know, captured in these folders up here are now in your main folder. So it's going to mean that there's a whole lot more emails in there than you had previously. Okay, so that should answer that question. So now,
Carol?
yeah.
Hi, it's Lori. I have a quick question. I know you can only have 100 emails on a page, but what do you do if, say, you want to select from the 20th email all the way to like the 150th or the end? Is there a way to select?
Yeah, let me, so here's, so this one has 100 on a page, you can see.
Mm-hmm.
And if I go up to there, I've now selected the first 100. If I don't want the first 20 of them, I unselect the, you know, down to 20 and unselect those. So it's still only going to display 100. You can then delete those or do whatever you want with those. Then you've got to go to the next page.
Okay, we'll say, I mean, I have a number of pages, but you know, there's no way to select past the 100-page limitation.
Are you, no, not as far as I know.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So, and is everybody being able to follow okay as I'm jumping around? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right, so let me see where I was. So, let me go back to my settings. Okay. So now I want to go to labels. Is that what I want to go to? No. I want to go to inbox. And that's not what I want either. Hold on a second. Okay. So I'm in general right now, and I'm about 3/4 of the way down the page. As you can see, there's a bazillion settings, and I'm not going to bother you with most of this. But right now I'm focused on the stars setting. And you'll see it says if you want to use stars, and right now the only star I'm using is that first star that's yellow. But I could actually choose from any of the colored settings. I could move each one of these up to make them available. And I could do them with all of them. So now I go down to the bottom and I save my changes. And now I'm back here. And so here's the little star in the message. And again, I can do this either from an unopened email or an opened one. But the first time I click, I get the first color that I picked. The next time I click, I get the next color and on and on. So supposedly. And so, you know, you can do that. It's a little hard to see because of the way this mouse is displaying. But every time you click, it'll advance you through the kinds of stars, including exclamation points and other things. So that's the first way to make things stand out. Let me go back to the settings now. And so if we come now down, so you can see here's all the ones that I've selected. And again, as I space through those, I would be able to use any one of them. But the next thing I want to show you is this thing called keyboard shortcuts. And so I'm going to turn the shortcuts on because I want to show you some additional things that are helpful to be able to use. And I want to turn one other thing on. Let me see where it is. Sorry, I'm not finding it now. Okay, we're just going to work with that one right now. And we're going to save it. And now when I come back here, I can do some things, and this is for you, Adam, because it made me think of what you were talking about earlier. So when you get into an email, and you can click on it to get into it, you're in it now, and it's, sorry, I've got so many things loaded here, they're all popping up. But it's easy enough to reply just by clicking here, but to remember to forward or do other things, it's a little harder. So there are a host of shortcuts you can use, and I'm going to post the shortcuts and all of the steps of everything that I've done with screenshots in a handout that will be in the handout section after this, so that you can easily go back and, you know, try things out on your own. So let's say I wanted to reply to this. Well, reply is simply, now the shortcuts are on, is simply R. So if I click R, it's just opened a window so I can easily reply. So that's the first thing. And you'll see here, there's a star. So that's the same star that showed in the view of all of the emails. If I click that and then click it again, you know, I've now put a star by it. So those are two things that we've done. And if I wanted to forward this email, which is again a handy thing to be able to do without having to go over here to look, especially if you're further down in the email, you're actually reading it. So if you want to forward it, all you have to do is click F, and now it's opened a window to be able to forward it. And if you want to get to your drafts, you're going to do two keys. So it's a G and a D. And oops, that's not what I thought it was going to do. All right, never mind for that. Okay. All right, so you can see, so it's added a star, and it let me open a window to be able to forward. And because I closed out of that, it's now showing it as a draft. And let me show you one other thing here. Okay, these are the various shortcut keys that you can see. So from anywhere, either in an individual opened email or from a checked email, you can use these. And again, I'll make them available afterwards. So now we're going to go back to.
You use those with the function key?
Nope, you just use them as a plain key, which makes it a whole lot easier. So it's just, you know, it's just a single key or two keys, you know, a G and then the second key. So those are pretty easy ones. Okay. Now, another thing you can do is you can see this chevron looking thing down here. That's an importance marker. So I can actually, so Google actually determines the things that it thinks are important from you, or for you, either because you've been looking at them a lot, or you know, I don't know what criteria they use, but you can deselect the ones they've picked, and you can also select other ones to be able to use. So now I want to go back to the old, or to the main email that I was using. So if you look over here in my left column, you can see I've got a ton of labels. And, you know, because I'm the vice president of a building, I've got a big one called Tilford, and then I've made subfolders of each of these. I'm just starting to really get my inbox well organized. And as you can see, I've got 12,000 emails in here. That's actually down, but it's a lot of them. But as you can see, if you look when the mouse is not there, you look at that left column, it's really hard to tell what any of that is. And if you go over to, this is now the one that doesn't have the email that doesn't have very much in here, you'll see these are my folders. And even with these few, they don't all show with the way that Gmail has set this window up. And so I can scroll down, I can get the rest of them, but that's annoying. What's here is this next set of windows called Meet and Hangout, which is a pain in the butt. And it's got this stretch thing, but I can't really stretch it enough to get rid of it. So let me show you how to get rid of it. You go up here to settings, to all settings, and you go to chat and meet. And so here you will see right now, chat is on. We're going to turn it off. And we're going to hide the meet. And hopefully that will get rid of those. And so now they're gone. Voila. So now you don't have those other things taking up space. And if I wanted to make changes to these folders, you know, these are all gray. They're not ones that I use much. But, you know, once again, you come over to the right side of the name of the folder, the three dots, you click on it. At the top, you'll see label color. And so if I wanted to label that one red, now I've done that in orange, there it is. So now that's, you know, an easy way. And the more color you've got, the better likelihood it is that things will show up. So let me show you how to get things into folders now. So here's your whole list of stuff. And you're going, well, okay, we've got BritBox, and here's some more BritBox. Now we could actually scroll down. We could select those couple. So now I can do various things with this. I can go up here to label, and I can pick a label that I wanted. Right now, it's showing up in promotions. I can undo promotions. I can click on test, and then I can apply it. And now it's going to add that label, but it didn't move it out of my inbox. So it's still sitting here taking up space in my inbox. Now, that's good if you figure if you put it somewhere, you'll forget about it, but not good if you don't care about it and you know where it's going to be. So the next thing you can do is go up here to move to, which is right next to the label icon to the left of it. So if you click on move to, and so now not only is it labeled, but I want to send it to that actual folder. I don't want it showing up here anymore. So I click that and voila, it's gone. So now it's been moved out of this folder. Okay, let's see what else I want to show you. So we've looked at starred, and if you click on starred, you'll now see any of the things that have been starred. We've talked about importance, and you can, if you click on that, you'll see all of the things you've marked as important. We've looked at snoozed, and I think I must have snoozed it out of my other, I think I didn't pick a time when I was showing you that, but if I had, it would have showed up in this folder. Okay. What else was I going to show you here? Okay. So all of the things I'm showing you for labels and moving relate to things that are already in your inbox. If you want to, and this goes back, I think, to Ken's question, if you want to set things up in advance so that they don't show up in your inbox, they go somewhere else, or you can also set them up just so that they're labeled in advance. But it won't do anything to what's already there, but it will affect what will come in the future. And you can do that by filtering. So the way you filter is you come up to search, this bar up top, and you click on the search options. So that's going to open a window. And so let's say you wanted to pick up anything that had to do with security. And you, right now it's set up just to be searching. So if I picked back 2 months and clicked search, I would see all the things that had the subject or had the, and actually you could have the, since these are all in the important folder actually.
So you typed in the subject to put security, then you went to search. Or...
Yes, but so when I put security in the subject, that's actually for the subject line. So that wasn't the best choice. I probably would put it, you know, here I selected the whole folder of important things. Let me get out of that because that's gonna, let's go back just to the inbox. Okay, so now let's go to search. What I would suggest, I mean, if you know that it's coming from somebody, you can put who it's coming from. If
a company.
Sorry?
A company or?
Yeah, it could be anything.
Okay.
Company, a person.
Okay.
And if you know the subject that it relates to, you can add that.
Okay.
If you, I mean, in the subject line, if you know that in the body of it, it's got a particular word, you can add that. And then if you're searching, you're going to be looking backwards. But if you're creating a filter, so let's say we're going to say it has the words security. And now we're going to be looking forward. So we're coming down here and we're going to create a filter rather than just search. Are you clear so far, the difference?
Filter instead I see search. Where is filter?
So filter is the button to the left of it. You see where my mouse is? I
see it now. Yes.
So if I, let's just go back. I don't know if I've got anything in here having to do with security, but okay. So I searched for security and it brought up all these things that have security in them. So that's one way to do it. If you want to find the email that deals with something in particular. But if you want to go forward, and so we're back in the inbox. We're up in the search window. We're going to say security again, but now we want to deal with things that are going to come in the future. So we're going to create a filter. And so we click create filter. And now here's all the things that you can pick of the actions that you want to take. You can archive it, meaning it comes out of your inbox.
Now you're in all the way to the right of the blue create filter now. Is that?
Let me go back. I'm not sure I understood that.
Where are you? What?
I clicked the little, let me go back.
Ken, adjust your camera, please.
Can you, how about now?
Barry, don't worry about it. So Ken?
Yes.
Here's the search window. And so down here to the left of that blue button that's for search.
Yeah.
So you click, yes.
Click on that. And
you click on create filter.
Create filter,
right.
Yeah.
So then when you do, let me put it, oops, come on. Sorry, hold on one second. Okay. This is what comes up next. And these are all choices that you have.
Okay.
Of what actions you want to take.
Under security.
Right.
Okay.
And if you said Costco, it would give you the choice for anything that had Costco in it.
Okay. So you can do this in advance.
Yes. Filtering you do in advance.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah. Okay. And all right, so you.
And you can add a label to it. Here's all the labels, the ones I've already created, or I can create a new label.
Okay.
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 All right. I think that may be enough for right now. I want to stop and see what questions people may have. Anybody?
Ken could also go to the bottom of his email and unsubscribe.
Yes. Yes, you can certainly do that, but that's a one by one thing for any of the stuff that you're getting that you don't want. There are also services that you can use that will let you bulk unsubscribe. They have pros and cons. But you can pick all those things and set them to go to delete or trash, and you'll just never see them.
How do you retrieve something that's been deleted?
Well, it depends. So here you see in this left-hand column, oh, come on. One of the things I don't like about Gmail is that it doesn't put trash up high. It's under more. Let me. Okay, can you see it here?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to trash and it's going to show you whatever is in the trash. And, you know, if I went to my other account, you'd see a ton of stuff in here probably. So it'll automatically delete after 30 days. But if you deleted a bunch of stuff and you look at it and you go, yeah, I really meant to get rid of all of that, you can then go empty trash now and it will all go away. And until you do that, it doesn't come out of your storage count for your 15 gigabytes for Gmail. Okay, other questions?
Hi, it's Laura again. Sorry,
Yeah.
my video isn't working.
No worries.
Somebody mentioned clicking on unsubscribe. I never know whether it's a possibility that the unsubscribe link is actually a virus itself.
That's part of the risk.
Okay.
You know, if it's somebody you trust, do it. If it's not, I probably wouldn't.
And
okay, good to know. Thank you.
Excuse me, Carol, let me amplify that a little bit. Lori?
Yes.
Sometimes when you click on unsubscribe, you're actually validating that you're there, that you have an email address. It's better to just simply delete it.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
So we've covered a lot of stuff. We've covered, and actually I want to show you, we've covered hotkeys and the fact that from within an email, and I think even from here, you know, with one key, you can do all kinds of things. Let me just try it to see. Yeah, so I just did C, which is compose. So rather than coming up here and clicking on the compose window, I could just do C and it opened a new window. One of the other things is that, and you may not ever have noticed this, but from from email, if you have well, I'm the only one that has multiple emails. Never mind, I won't bother with that. Okay.
When I am composing an email, sometimes my cursor just drops to a different line. It jumps around.
Yes.
Is that because of the Gmail or
no,
is it my computer?
It's either your computer or your moving or your Wi-Fi signal. You know, you just have to kind of watch. On my other computer, I have, because I'm not doing a presentation where I want this colored cursor, I have a circled cursor. And so that I use that, and I can show you another time how to do that. I use that so that I can always tell exactly where my cursor is.
Okay.
Other questions or comments?
Yes, Carol?
Yeah.
Yes, I haven't had a relevant Gmail response since 2019. And I was wondering how I can get my account reactivated, or it's just stopped working.
Well, I'm not sure what that means. It isn't likely that it really stopped working. It's probably being kept somewhere. But what you can do, let me see if I can get to it. So am I still sharing my screen? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I can remember the right email address. Sorry.
Probably sync it.
Okay, hold on. think it's mail.google.com. Let's get that out of the way. Click on it. No. I think it's because I have cookies on mine. I'll find it and I'll post it, but there is a particular, there is an address that will get you into the overall Gmail server so that you can check on your various Gmail accounts. But Steve, when you try to sign in to that account, what happens? When you go to a sign in for Gmail and you put the address and your password, what happens?
No, I never have to do that. It just comes up. My email comes up with all the ones that are populated there, but nothing's changed since 19.
You may have to sort it by newest to oldest. There is a way to sort it in there, I believe.
Yeah, all you have to do is
They're all
go over.
dated.
Sorry.
They're all dated, they're all dated, so you know which ones are the newest and so forth, and they are in descending order.
Right.
So the last one was in 19.
Right. So it may be a syncing problem, but I would try going in from another computer and signing in fresh and see if you can get them. Otherwise, if I can find and verify what that website address is, you ought to be able to go in now.
Yeah, that mail.google.com just brings up the upgrade to a smarter email or get the Gmail app. So I don't see anything that, you know, talks about, you know, fixing the account I already have.
Are you using your iPhone?
Yeah, I know. I got to go on the laptop and see if that's a different story. It usually is.
Mm-hmm.
I can't understand why.
You may have exceeded your limit. That's the only other thing. Your Gmails. I'm sorry.
It would tell me if I had exceeded my limit, I believe, and it never did that.
I would think so. So
Yeah.
Steve, I don't know. I would Google it and see what you find.
Yeah, Google has its own support site. So if you go to google.com support, and they will probably either be answered by Google itself or by the Google community.
And if you notice right now, if you look at the Chrome extensions that I'm showing you, you know, here's where the settings were, here's where all the Google apps are. Here is support. Mm-hmm. So you can, you know, click help or training or updates and ask your question there from within Gmail.
Yeah, it's got some great features. I mean, that color-coded system is very interesting. I love to have that, but I've got Yahoo, and I don't see where it offers anything like that on the Yahoo.
Oh, thank you for saying that. That was one of the other things I meant to say.
Importing.
Yes. So if you're using AOL, Hotmail, Yahoo, Outlook to some extent, and you still have access to those, you can actually import them into a Gmail account. You can create a new account if you want. And you'll have that email displayed right along with the other email that, you know, that comes from Gmail addresses themselves. And you can do that.
Yeah, there's some great features there. I wish I had.
Yep, well, you can have them. So in the forwarding and pop, or the accounts and import, here's where you can import mail and contacts from these other different email servers, which I would highly recommend that you do.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to import until I have a working Gmail system.
Well, you can create a new Gmail account.
Yeah, maybe I should just do that. It's probably easier. All right, that's good advice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, folks.
I'm just curious. Judy, very early on, about an hour ago, asked why you think Gmail is better than other.
Why what, Mike?
He asked, why do you believe that Gmail is better than other emails?
Ah, good question. Well, for various reasons.
He asked it about an hour ago.
One is because it's the direction of the future. You know, if you noticed what I showed you in terms of its use, you can see how, you know, how far it's outstripping everybody else. Second is because it gives you access, easy access to the entire Google suite of
programs, applications.
Of applications, you know, all of this stuff that's here, and it, you know, immediately integrates with everything. You can pick it up from anywhere. It's what you would be using if you're using a Chromebook, which I know you are. It has all of the other features that I've been showing you. It's got all of Google's support behind it. You know, I just can't see any reason to use anything else, quite frankly, you know, for the use that the average person puts to it. And I know that some people who've used Outlook had reservations about the display of the reading pane, but you can set it up so that it displays the way that you're used to, which, you know, makes that much easier.
If I might add one thing, Mike, Gmail is far more secure. You're using a Chromebook and you're aware you don't need an antivirus program on a Chromebook because Google's operating system, Chromium, is completely secured through the cloud and also on your device. So it's far more safe to use Gmail than it is some of the others. As you know, many of the others have been hacked.
Yeah, I'm sold. I'm just wondering whether that answered Judy's question. Is Judy on there still?
So anybody have anything else? Let's see, somebody had a chat question.
Carol.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I was in business, my office manager had several Gmails for me. How do I find them?
I don't know if you can. Do you know the passwords?
No, I don't know anything.
Okay. I
Should
don't
I just
know.
start over?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, folks.
And so one more, there was a question from Lorraine about being an MSN user.
Okay.
Can her contacts from MSN, not Outlook, be moved to Gmail? Yes. Yes. Your contacts, I think, from any of those can be moved to Gmail.
Now, that would not affect my Outlook files?
No, it'll just duplicate them.
When you say duplicate what? My MSN or my Outlook?
Either, well, you can set up your MSN contacts for export and make a file of them, a CSV or other kind of file, so that they're separated, if that's your question, and then import those so that the Outlook ones don't come over. That sounds like what you're asking, is it?
Not really, Sue. I use MSN for, that's my main mail application that I use.
Right.
I do use Outlook maybe 2% of the time.
Okay.
But my Outlook files is also all of my contacts, which has nothing to do with mail.
Okay.
And there's about, I don't know, close to 4,000 contacts in there. It's a very large file. And so if I were, because MSN, as you may know, is an application that you pay for every month. So I've been paying MSN Mail for I don't know how many years. So now I'm saying maybe it would be intelligent to move to Gmail.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to use Gmail. I have no clue. But my main concern is, how do I move what's in my MSN account, not affecting my Outlook account, my MSN account,
right?
In terms of my contacts, which is probably, I don't know, 100 contacts, and my distribution list, which I have quite a bit, and maybe all my emails that are on there. That would be nice to kind of move them.
Right.
So is that something that is doable, or?
It should be.
Should be.
You'll find it in settings. And when you go on that settings thing, there will be an import and export area that will allow you to, there's one right there. You can see it says accounts and import, and it will give you some idea of what is or is not. Before you do it, I would go up and look on Google for support and type in what you're talking about. Are you talking about that PST file that is used?
No, the PST is really my Outlook file, Barry. So I absolutely do not want that touched.
Right. Oh, we know why. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carol.
Does anybody else use a Mac?
No.
Ada does, but she's not here.
You can use Gmail on a Mac.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know that. I do use it occasionally, but the format is radically different than what your presentation. Totally. There's just no, actually mine's a lot cleaner.
Interesting.
Yours is very cluttered looking compared to what I have. I was just curious if anybody else was using a Mac, because I really didn't relate to most of this.
Well, there is of course, if you put into Google using Gmail on a Mac, you'll get a lot of videos and you'll get a lot of information from a variety of sites. That I can tell you for sure.
Well, that's interesting to know that the display is so different.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the functions I was showing you also will work. The main difference typically is whether you're using a controlled key or a command key, in addition to, to some of the other keystroke functions. But
well, on your account, when your emails come in, it shows your name and then a lot of other things and whatever. Everything I see, it doesn't have my name at all. It just goes right to the from whom it is and the topic. So you don't have any of the other. It's more concise.
So you're saying you don't have this column over here?
No, don't have any of that.
Interesting.
At least not the way I've been using this for a long time. So I don't use the Gmail as much, but I use it simultaneously. I don't have any of that.
So I actually didn't look at the settings to see whether this is optional, whether you actually can remove that column. It used to be that these were separate columns, but now the only thing that, that really has a column function is this center one with the messages and the time. There's actually a line that goes between them that, that you can make the messages longer or shorter. But that's, you can't do anything like that with this left-hand column anymore. So I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Folks, we appreciate all your questions, but I think it's time to thank Carol very much for her excellent presentation. Let's have some virtual applause. Carol, you may now unshare your screen, please.
Okay.
Since Carol's doing the recording, she will be the one to send me the link, since I can't get it from my side. Only the person that's recording, I believe, can send the link to me. Is that accurate?
I'm not sure, but maybe.
Yeah, you'll get it on your device, and then you can send it as in a Google Drive or something like that. But I don't think I'll be able to get it unless I had started the recording. All right. So thank you very much, everyone, for participating. I hope you remain safe and healthy and have a pleasant couple of weeks till we meet again, which will be Friday, July 23rd, 2021. Until then, this is Barry Cowan, the president of the Deerfield Beach Computer Club, thanking you for your active participation and signing off. Say your goodbyes right now, please.
Thank you.
Goodbye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Goodbye. Goodbye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Have a
Have a
nice
good
weekend.
Have a
Learn
good
some new
weekend.
stuff. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.